What's up, y'all? My name is Trevor Went. I'm a visual artist raised in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I make art to challenge perspectives and to give hope to marginalized and oppressed peoples. And a lot of y'all have asked me over different self-portrait tutorials on how do I go about shooting self-portraits in public? How do I make that happen? How can I build up the courage to do that sort of thing? And so I figured I'd make a video and give y'all some tips on how to do just that, and also just a couple of tips on how I go about staying safe when I'm out shooting self-portraits anywhere. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, if we back up to the classic original self-portrait tut on this channel, I told y'all from the jump, off top, I'm a shy dude, and that makes it kind of difficult to get models for shoots. And so that was one of the reasons why I started shooting self-portraits, but also, I love me a lot. But the reason that I bring the shyness up is because I know a lot of people might wonder, how does the guy who is saying that he's shy out here taking photos of himself in public, how does that even work? And a lot of this stuff that I'm going to give y'all tips on today is very psychological, and I'll chat more about some of the things that helped me out in the beginning and helped me kind of process through getting the photo that I wanted, regardless of people potentially watching or paying attention to what I was doing. So with that said, here are my 7 tips on how to shoot self-portraits in public. All right, so self-portraits in public, what are you gonna need? You're obviously gonna need a tripod. You're gonna need your camera. You're gonna need some form of remote trigger, whether that's an app on your phone or there's corded ones that you can get, and there's also Bluetooth remote triggers that you can get for different cameras or cell phones. So look those up and get ready to rock. And the last 2 things you'll need are yourself and a little bit of courage. Let's get active. All right, first off, have a plan for what you're trying to shoot. Now, I know I say this every single tut, but it is so important to come prepared to a shoot. You know, some people are more free-flowing than others, and they'll just kind of have a base kind of idea and then just let stuff rock out from there. But I know that I shoot the best that I can when I'm planning well beforehand. And so this means rocking through a mood board, building out a mood board on Pinterest or Visco or whatever places that you find inspiration, and putting that together in a space, like a centrally located space where you can go back and reference through it, and then researching poses that you might want to do, research the themes that you might want to do, and really have an idea of what you're trying to accomplish so that you're not out there kind of like wasting time and energy and light when you're out there shooting. You know, for example, for me, with this shoot, I had a clear concept of what I was aiming for, and that allowed me the freedom to just kind of feel out of space and feel out if I was getting the images that were evoking the sort of emotion or telling the story that I wanted to tell. So give yourself the room to be able to play by planning well beforehand. Number 2, tell yourself, I am more than likely never going to see any of these people again. So why do I care if they're looking at me while I take one of these pictures? This was something that really helped me to kind of get over this fear, because straight up, I'm not going to see any of these people again more than likely in my life. So who cares if they see me taking a photo? In the end, I'm going to post it somewhere where hundreds, thousands, you know, who knows how many people are going to be able to see it and interact with it. So why do I care? Number 3, people really don't care that much. Keep in mind that we live in the most visual age in all of human history. People see higher end cameras, people see smartphone cameras, people see cameras and have cameras at a higher rate than ever before, right? And so people don't really pay that much attention whether you have a tripod out or not. Unless you out here with a tripod out doing TikTok dances in the middle of the street, then you probably going to attract a little bit of attention and might end up on a viral moment. But if you're not out here doing TikTok dances in the middle of the street, people are not going to pay that much attention to you. So go out there, be yourself, create the vibes. Number 4, focus on the art. Focus more on getting the shot that you came out there to get. Focus more on what you're aiming to create in that time than what others are doing around you. Now, I know this might sound simple, but I know for me it's been helpful to really just focus in and shift my focus towards the concept and the thing that I dreamed up, and to not let anything get in the way of me creating that. All right, I'll catch y'all right after this. And we back. Number 5, set your camera to burst mode. So straight up shoot in bursts, where your camera is capturing a continuous set of shots, and this will give you more time to get over your nerves, to kind of just play with different poses, and to really get more comfortable in front of the camera and maybe kick out some of those stray thoughts of people looking at you. Number 6, chuck deuces or diffuse. So what do you do if somebody actually rolls up on you during a shoot? Now, most of the situations that I've dealt with, it's just been someone who's coming up to ask a question or has some sort of comment or something like that. And in those situations, you just have a conversation with someone real fast, and usually they'll kind of keep it moving after that. But if you end up in a situation where somebody might be posing behind you or mocking you or something like that, my first suggestion off rip would just be get out of the situation if it seems any sort of dangerous. My second suggestion in that space is, if you determine that vibe to not be some sort of malicious situation or something like that, and you feel comfortable enough, you can honestly probably make a joke and invite the person to come over and really get into the frame. And it could actually make for a fun moment, or it'll make somebody just walk off, and because they're too embarrassed or too shy to actually stand in front of the camera. And so those are kind of the ways that I would rock through those situations and have rocked through those situations. You can see in the vibes that's going on right here in this shoot for me, the property owner's neighbor called the property owner to see if I was actually allowed to be there. And so I had to have a conversation with the property owner of this building in order to keep shooting there. And it actually ended up working out fine. But, you know, sometimes you got to diffuse and sometimes you got to chug doses. And number 7, my biggest piece of advice in this stuff is repetition. Your best chance at getting more comfortable to shooting with people around in public is to do it enough times where you get used to that just being a norm and you don't think about it anymore. I'm at the point where I basically shoot anywhere that I want to. And if there's people around, there's people around. They'll walk around, they'll do whatever. But I don't think about it anymore because of all the reps that I've put in over the years. So put the repetition in, put the work in. There is no substitute for hard work. And hopefully for you, it'll get more comfortable. And a little bonus tip for y'all, work your way up to the more crowded environments publicly. Start maybe on a public parking deck, maybe an alley, then the streets, then a street corner, maybe your neighborhood. Just work your way up so that you can get comfortable and more comfortable in different environments. Now, I know all of y'all who live in big cities are thinking, how do I shoot self-portraits in crowded public spaces and not get my gear stolen? And I would say don't shoot in spaces that you would have to worry about that by yourself. Go shoot in more secluded environments. Go shoot maybe on a parking deck or in a public park or something like that. I know for me, I always carry mace with me when I'm shooting in public, in places where I have to carry both my camera and my video rig, and just to keep myself safe as I possibly can be. And so keep in mind the ways that you can keep yourself safe and take some measures beforehand and think about and plan the locations that you're going to be dolo with yourself in this camera. And finally, here are some of my favorite images from this shoot, which focuses upon honoring the legacy of Chairman Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today, checking out this video. If you vibed off of it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, which lets me know that you like the video, but also tells the algorithm to send it out to more people. And then also hit that notification bell situation and make sure that you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this video, make sure you hit up the comment section and I'll answer those, whether it's today or next year. It doesn't matter. I answer those joints pretty frequently. So I'll catch you on the flip. Be easy, be safe. Peace. And that's it. Oh wow. Do y'all see this? This is Crunchyroll, which is what I've watched this entire pandemic season. Big anime head over here. And Demon Slayer is front and center because come on people, if you're not watching Demon Slayer and you like anime, what are you doing with your life? Stuff I've been watching, Boruto, One Piece, of course. Come on, 1,000 episodes, seen them all. Sheesh. Okay, we can talk about that another time. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.